Incremental greetings. Let's continue with the Supermemo Course, the Pleasurable expansion. Now it's time for the concept hooks.
Remember, the hook at the start is the same of the hook is the same of the root, unless you change it. Okay, and look at this, Melanie Barnett.
Yeah, we said slightly out of context. Why he means hook and root? Okay, just by context, So just by context, for instance, science, the root element is this, it's called, again, science, but the hook is a different place, is a different thing. If we click go to, it's here. The concept is this one. Remember, this is the concept element in the knowledge tree. And this particular element, in this case, it's a folder. Remember, it's a topic. Qualitatively, it's a folder. And then how come this child of science is the hook and it's not itself? There's a reason for that. When you create a brand new concept, the hook would be always itself. In other words, here is one example. The concept is called cognition, the root element is cognition, and the hook branch is cognition. Everything is the same. That's the default, but you can change that. Cool. Let's continue.
But maybe I want my own template that reminds me of Melanie Barnett. So Control Shift F2, we already see this, saw this. We have already seen.
Okay, and then Fowl covers this again in the next video in this particular point.
Before adding stuff, because if I did not, let's go back.
Now in his case, he has programming, the same case as cognition. In his case, it's programming. Nice.
To writing, and I wanted to put an element. Okay, let's say you forgot to change this, but you just go, I want to put this under Krebs cycle. So I go concept, set hook, and then I go, I want to put this under Krebs.
What he's going to do here, it's very close to my face.
Cycle. So I go
Okay, let me resize the window so it's easier to appreciate. So he did on the element in the knowledge tree, right click, then the concept option.
Concept, set hook.
Then the which option he chosen was not seen, I think because of his webcam. No worries. Right click, concept, and we have those three options. Create. That why on earth I want to create a concept if it's already a concept, by the way. Then set root and set hook. Let's see what the hint says. Set hook is set the selected element as the append hook of the current concept group. So there are exactly two ways, at the very least, two ways I can set a hook. So we know that science, the hook is now this one. I know that. Science, here. So I can change it from here in the registry. So now I click on hook branch. Do you see now, if I go to knowledge tree, I have this square on top of my cursor. Supermemo is waiting for me to select an element. And I will click science, in this case itself. And now you can press enter. And do you see, now the hook branch is again itself. Nice. Then I could achieve, let me undo that once again and select how it was before. I can do this the other way around. I have whatever the element I want to set as hook, right click, concept, set as hook. In this case, it's asking for confirmation. Change hook, concept, using fonts. What? Using fonts? That's a massive difference. You may have seen that, yeah, it was the same thing, just the order is different. It's Supermemo. You cannot take this for granted. Why is using fonts here? because it's the active. Remember, we have seen this, the active concept in the collection. So if you have this flow, you want this flow, I will select no. I really don't want that. I will need first to make it active, in case it's not there already. Science. By the way, when you change the default concept, it goes to the last element you have on that concept. Now, if I right click again, even if I go back to whatever I was in the knowledge tree, I was in science. Okay. Now, right click, concept, set as hook. Hey, now it's precisely what I wanted. Concept, science, all hook. The second folder as a child of science, and now the new hook would be science, basically itself. And the root is science. Basically, I'm setting the hook the same as the root. I'm not changing the root, by the way, which is also possible. Nice. Now if I go to the registry, I will see in fact that it has the same effect. If you rely on incremental reading, usually you will change the, I'll suggest to change the branch from here, from the registry. If you have the flow like Fowl, that he relies on the active concept, yeah, feel free to do it the other way around. It's totally valid. But remember that you will set the hook of the concept that is there. So you can, that is active. This is one example that you can mess your collection without you even realizing. It's very easy in Supermemo. Let's actually do it for the record. I want to do it. So the one I had is using fonts. So now imagine I go science, concept, set hook with using fonts. Yes. And now what happened? Let's go to the registry. Let's do the science and touch. Science. But what happened with the using fonts? Oh, shoot. Using fonts is not just the hook. Also the root element is science. I messed up really big. Then that means that if I use this concept, I will be merging the concept groups. We will see this next time, what the concept group is. But that's not the flow you want. That's not intended behavior, even though it's possible to do. Because again, Supermemo doesn't restrict the user. You can do whatever you want, and that usually is problematic. So now we learn how to set the hook. I hope you understood the hook. But then is, okay, we have set the hook, but what about it? So what's the purpose, the use case of the hook? When is this used? Why should I care to change that? And so on. We will see this in the next video. See you there.